The field of life. Life in its most intimate essence is a science fiction epic unfolding within every human being, a story of creation and destruction, of surrender and triumph. Pregnancy, that seemingly ordinary yet miraculous event, is nothing less than a cosmic drama. It is where two invisible worlds collide, and from that collision, a new universe begins to take form. No metaphor is grand enough to capture the audacity of building another consciousness within oneself. It's as if a star were being forged in the vast darkness of space, quietly, fiercely, against all odds. Before the first breath, the stage is already set on a microscopic battlefield. Millions of genetic messengers, the sperm, surge forward in a desperate race, driven by purpose they cannot comprehend. Only one will reach the sacred threshold. The rest vanish into silence, sacrificed to the law of selection that governs all existence. Yet even in that invisible war, there's direction, order, and meaning. Biology itself seems to echo an ancient myth written in the language of molecules, a reminder that everything precious is born through struggle. But here, in the reflective space of this channel, we go beyond the raw spectacle of biology. We explore what this phenomenon reveals about consciousness itself, the mysterious awareness that awakens through the union of matter and energy, just as quantum particles vibrate within uncertain fields until observation gives them form. Conception is a living metaphor for manifestation. It's the unseen deciding to become seen. What begins as formless potential slowly organizes into structure, rhythm, and destiny. This is the lens through which I invite you to travel, one that bridges science and metaphysics. Beneath the surface of cells dividing and DNA spiraling lies a universal narrative, one of cooperation, resilience, and the sacred tension between opposites. Each cell that chooses life tells a story of courage. Each heartbeat forming in the dark echoes the same creative pulse that keeps galaxies spinning. Birth, in that sense, isn't just biological. It's a divine rehearsal of creation itself. And since every journey begins through shared intention, I ask that you support this work consciously. When you subscribe or share, you're not just helping a digital platform. You're expanding a field of coherence we create together. Algorithms, much like quantum fields, respond to vibration. Every like you send ripples outward, carrying resonance to others who are ready to awaken to the same reflection. In a world governed by waves and frequencies, even small acts have invisible power. So let us begin this exploration with both scientific curiosity and spiritual openness. Let's look at birth not only as a physical event, but as a metaphor for existence, for the silent intelligence guiding every beginning. If you are alive today, you've already crossed that impossible battlefield. You've already proven that against infinite odds, consciousness chose to become you. To be alive, then, is not ordinary. It is a quiet miracle renewed with every breath you take. The labyrinth of survival. As the narrative unfolds, we enter the microscopic labyrinth where millions of sperm cells engage in a desperate race against time. There is no mercy here, no second attempt. The female body rises like a living fortress. Acidic, selective, and fiercely protective, eliminating nearly every intruder that dares to approach the sacred core. It is a silent war fought in dimensions unseen, where every forward movement demands a sacrifice of countless others. Life, it seems, is sculpted from scarcity, born out of the improbable. Seen through a metaphysical lens, this moment reveals a universal principle. Not every seed is meant to bloom, yet those that endure chaos and cross the walls of uncertainty carry within them the spark of persistence. The one that survives is not merely the fastest, it's the one that aligns, the one that resonates with the hidden language of the mother's body. Just as in life, survival is not purely about strength, but about harmony with the environment, timing, and vibration. True success in any field is less a conquest and more a symphony. The woman's body, guided by ancestral intelligence, is not simply rejecting the foreign, it is discerning. To choose is to discriminate, to separate signal from noise, resonance from dissonance. Natural selection, operating on a cellular scale, mirrors the spiritual filtration that occurs in every human journey. How often do we face invisible walls that seem to reject our progress? Perhaps these walls are not rejections, but quiet tests of readiness, questions from life itself, asking whether we are prepared to sustain what we desire. Here, biology and quantum mechanics meet in metaphor. Just as subatomic particles tunnel through fields of probability, the sperm navigates forces it cannot predict or control. There is randomness, yes, but also an underlying order, a hidden intelligence weaving through the chaos. This interplay between chance and destiny reminds us that existence itself is born from uncertainty, from the dance between what we choose and what chooses us. The universe is never pure chaos. It's structured possibility waiting for awareness to decode its rhythm. When seen with the eyes of the heart, the lesson becomes deeply personal. Each of us is the result of that ancient victory, that improbable passage through the labyrinth. You are not here by accident. The math speaks for itself. Less than 1 in a million made it, and you were the one who did. That statistic is not just biology. It's a living metaphor, a reminder that your very existence carries the signature of triumph. You are by nature the embodiment of the improbable made real. So, before we ever had thoughts, language, or dreams, we were already resilience in motion, victory written into flesh. To remember this is to awaken courage. It's to realize that every challenge we face now is merely another version of that same race for life. If you once survived the impossible, perhaps you can trust that life continues to equip you with everything needed to cross the next threshold. The will to persist was never something you needed to learn. It was your very first inheritance. The meeting of two worlds. After crossing deserts of acid and scaling invisible walls of mucus, only a few dozen survivors remain. They finally reach the threshold of a giant, the egg, 10,000 times larger than any of them. It waits like a luminous star, suspended in stillness, radiant with nutrients and quiet power. The scene feels almost mythical, a handful of fragile travelers facing an immense, silent guardian. Yet the egg is not conquered by force. It decides. It opens not to domination, but to resonance, as if responding to a call written long before time began. In that moment, biology reveals its hidden philosophy. The union between sperm and egg is far more than a genetic merger. It is the collapse of duality itself. Two worlds, two histories, two lines of ancestral memory converge and dissolve their separateness. Something unprecedented is born, not yet human, but no longer mere cells. It's the quantum instant when the wave function collapses, when infinite probabilities condense into one tangible reality. What was once pure potential now declares, I exist. Here, science and metaphor intertwine seamlessly. The egg does not simply receive, now it transforms. The instant fusion occurs, a spark of originality ignites in the universe. It isn't yet a life that can be seen or touched, but its vibration already echoes through the fabric of existence. It's like a word not yet spoken, trembling on the edge of sound. Life, at this stage, is a poem whispered in molecular language, a symphony written in code, silent, precise, and full of promise. From a metaphysical perspective, this is the birth of a fractal of consciousness. Just as a single beam of light refracts into countless colors without losing its essence, two halves merge here to form a new totality. The universe mirrors itself in this moment, reminding us that creation always arises from union, not isolation. Nothing in existence is born alone. Everything blooms from interaction, resonance, and dialogue. Even in what appears as competition, life conceals the art of cooperation. The existential reflection hidden here is profound. How many times in life are we called to the same dynamic, to choose or to be chosen? Opportunities, relationships, new beginnings all follow the same cosmic logic. Not every door is meant to open right away. Some gateways respond only when the vibration is right, when readiness and timing meet. Like the egg, life guards its wisdom. It decides when a fusion is safe, when creation can unfold. Rejection in that sense is not denial, it's divine timing in disguise. And you, listening now, are the result of such a sacred choice, a unique fusion that will never happen again in the history of the universe. You are the singular outcome of a cosmic equation that declared you must exist. Every cell in your body carries that signature of selection and harmony, the mark of destiny fulfilled. To honor your beginning is to honor the intelligence that designed you. You are not an accident, not a coincidence. You are the living proof that life itself chose you to be. The chemical dialogue of implantation. Now the new being, still invisible to the eye, but already charged with destiny, begins its journey through the mother's womb. It is no longer a mere cluster of cells. It is a traveler seeking a home, dividing, multiplying, expanding with a sense of cosmic urgency. It drifts along a corridor of living tissue, guided by forces older than memory. When it finally reaches the uterine wall, it doesn't find passive acceptance. What unfolds is a chemical dialogue, intricate, intelligent, and profoundly intentional, like two silent consciousnesses negotiating the terms of a sacred contract. The embryo sends signals, releases chemical messages, and whispers its request for shelter. The uterus listens and responds through hormones, evaluating the coherence of this silent exchange. If the conversation lacks resonance or trust, the process halts. This is not cruelty, it is wisdom written into the laws of life. It is a tribunal of nature where only harmony allows continuation. And just like in the world of ideas, not every seed finds fertile ground, yet the ones that do, those that are received and integrated, have the power to reshape reality itself. This quiet conversation mirrors the essence of human existence. How often must we present our energy to the world, our vision, our truth, and wait to see if it will be accepted or rejected? Every relationship, every project, every dream is an invisible negotiation between frequencies, intentions, and timing. When there is resonance, doors open. When there isn't, we are redirected, not as punishment, but as guidance. The embryo teaches us that even the most intimate processes of life rely on authentic communication. There's also an echo of quantum physics vibrating here. In the collapse of the wave function, reality crystallizes through observation, potential becomes presence. The uterus performs a similar act. It decides whether the spark before it holds the coherence to continue the story of life. This decision is not moral, it's vibrational. The embryo's frequency must align with the mother's energetic field. When there is harmony, development continues. When dissonance prevails, the process dissolves. The universe in every scale operates by the same principle of fine-tuned resonance. And so we are invited to reflect. How many of our dreams have vanished at this invisible stage of implantation? How many ideas never took root, not because they lacked value, but because the timing, environment, or vibration was not yet aligned? Life wastes nothing. Even the unrealized serves the evolution of what will endure. Just as biology conserves energy by favoring what can truly grow, existence redirects us toward paths that hold the most coherence with our essence. What emerges is the beauty of this silent selection. You, breathing, thinking, existing right now, are the result of a conversation that once succeeded. You were accepted by life. You were the idea that found resonance in the universe's dialogue. That means your very existence is proof of worthiness, evidence of an ancient agreement between creation and continuation. Remember this when doubt whispers, you are here because the field itself said yes. You are the answer to life's most delicate negotiation, and you already won it. And the creative invasion, the birth of the placenta. After life's first yes, a new phase begins, one of the strangest and most intense moments in the entire process of creation, the silent invasion. The embryo no longer asks, it acts. Its specialized cells, called trophoblasts, advance like microscopic pioneers, extending countless tendrils that pierce the uterine wall. They carve out territory, establishing a connection between two worlds. What appears at first glance as aggression or parasitism is, in truth, the birth of a vital alliance. This invasion gives rise to one of nature's most extraordinary creations, the placenta. This moment is a reminder that life doesn't thrive solely through acceptance, but also through the boldness of occupation. The embryo must convince and conquer simultaneously, a paradoxical dance between diplomacy and determination. The mother's body watches with intelligent caution, analyzing every signal, every exchange. If weakness or incoherence is detected, the process halts. But when strength and harmony align, the body permits the invasion to deepen. From that delicate balance emerges the placenta, a temporary yet essential organ rising like a fortress built to protect and nourish the new traveler. Metaphysically, this process mirrors our own journeys through transformation. How often must we step into the unknown, invading unfamiliar territory to give birth to something new within ourselves? The creative invasion symbolizes courage, the sacred audacity to cross invisible boundaries, even when it feels dangerous or disruptive. Growth, like gestation, requires both tenderness and power. We too must learn when to negotiate with the world and when to assert our presence, to say with conviction, I belong here. In the language of quantum physics, the placenta can be imagined as a field of coherence, a stabilizing frequency that holds possibility and form. It becomes the invisible bridge between two realities, mother and child, known and unknown. Through it, matter, energy, and information flow in constant exchange. Just as the unified field connects distant particles in quantum entanglement, the placenta binds two beings into one shared ecosystem. It ensures that the emerging life can continue its journey without being destroyed by an environment to which it's not yet fully belong. From an existential perspective, the placenta teaches us about impermanence and purpose. It is born with a single mission: to sustain, to protect, to nourish. But when that mission is fulfilled, it dies quietly, surrendering its place to the being it helped bring forth. How many structures in our lives follow this same pattern? Relationships, projects, beliefs, or stages that exist only to support our growth, then gracefully fade away. Nothing that fulfills its role is ever wasted. Even what disappears leaves behind its imprint of meaning. And so, within your very biology lies the memory of this creative invasion. Your life began through an act of fearless persistence, cells that refused to be turned away, that insisted on becoming. You were built from courage. Every molecule within you carries the signature of that first conquest, the victory of presence over resistance. When doubt whispers that you are not strong enough, remember this truth: you are the descendant of cells that dared to cross forbidden walls. The placenta, that ancient bridge between worlds, is proof that life does not rise only through gentleness. It endures through the firmness of will that chooses to remain. The transition from embryo to fetus. Time advances, and about 8 weeks after conception, the embryo begins its astonishing transformation into a fetus. What was once a formless cluster of cells now starts to sculpt the outlines of something recognizably human, barely the size of a small olive. It pulses with its own rhythm, a tiny heart beating, primitive organs emerging, neural connections sparking their first whispers of communication. It is like watching an abstract idea gain shape, a poem still unfinished but already vibrating with intention and direction. In biology, This is a moment of profound inflection. There is no sharp line, no single instant when a collection of cells suddenly becomes human. The transformation is gradual, like a symphony, building its melody note by note. Science can measure growth, but consciousness perceives meaning. Cultures, societies, and individuals interpret this threshold differently, and perhaps that diversity reflects life's own mystery. It refuses to be confined to a single definition or frozen moment in time. Life insists on fluidity. From a metaphysical perspective, this stage marks the passage from the invisible to the visible, from pure potential to the dawn of identity. It is as though consciousness is beginning to test its new instrument, a miniature body through which it will one day experience laughter, pain, love, and purpose. The transition from embryo to fetus is proof that life never emerges in static leaps. It unfolds in subtle gradients. Every identity we assume is but a step toward another. We are never fixed beings. We are ongoing processes of becoming. We can see a clear parallel here with quantum physics. Before observation, reality exists only as probability, a field of infinite potential. Once observed, it collapses into form. The fetus represents that progressive collapse, the condensation of boundless possibility into a defined expression of life. Yet even as it takes shape, it carries within it the memory of the undefined, the whisper of infinite versions it could have been. Humanity, in this sense, is a living paradox, bound by form, yet eternally touched by the infinite. On an existential level, this transformation teaches us something essential. Identity is never born complete. Just as the fetus needs time to form organs, we too require time, mistakes, and seasons of refinement to become who we truly are. Believing we are finished is a quiet illusion. Life invites us to honor our transitions, to recognize that even when our path feels uncertain or incomplete, something essential is forming within us. The in-between stages are not delays, they are creation in motion. If you are alive today, it means you too once crossed this invisible threshold, a journey from abstraction into embodiment. You were not born ready. You have always been unfolding, layer by layer, choice by choice, silence by silence, and you're still unfolding now. Science may trace the architecture of your cells, but metaphor unveils the deeper truth. You're a being of perpetual metamorphosis. Like the fetus, you're sculpting your future self, even in moments of stillness, proving that fragility is not the absence of progress. It is its most delicate form. The fortress of the placenta and the pact of life. But within the sacred quiet of the womb, the placenta rises like a biological citadel, an organ born solely to serve, destined to vanish once its mission is complete. It forms the bridge between mother and child, filtering nutrients, blocking toxins, and ensuring that this small, growing life is shielded from the surrounding chaos. The placenta is both fortress and bridge, guardian and channel. Its intricate architecture, composed of branching tissues like glowing trees of light, reminds us that life can only flourish when sustained by invisible foundations of care and connection. Yet even this fortress is not free from tension. The placenta releases powerful hormones that reroute glucose and energy toward the fetus, sometimes at the expense of the mother's own equilibrium. When this exchange becomes excessive, conditions such as gestational diabetes may appear, nature's way of revealing that even the most intimate alliances carry negotiation and strain. Biology, in its raw honesty, teaches that every relationship exists on a delicate thread between giving and receiving. Harmony does not mean the absence of conflict. It means the art of continuous balance. From a metaphysical view, the placenta symbolizes the unified field of consciousness, a sacred space where two distinct realities coexist without losing their individuality. It acts as an energetic membrane, maintaining separation and union in perfect proportion. It reminds us that all life is built on temporary covenants. We are constantly exchanging energy through friendships, love, and shared purpose. Each connection asks for devotion and boundaries alike. For without limits, nourishment can easily become depletion. The art of coexistence is the art of remembering where unity ends and identity begins. This delicate balance resonates with the principles of quantum physics. Just as entangled particles remain connected across space, the mother and fetus share more than matter. They share vibration. Studies reveal that a mother's emotions, thoughts, and hormonal states can influence her child's development long before birth. It's a profound reminder that consciousness is not isolated but resonant. What one being feels vibrates through the field of another. We are each of us transmitters and receivers in a continuous dialogue of energy and awareness. On an existential level, the placenta teaches that our inner fortresses must remain alive and adaptive. To protect does not mean to imprison. To nurture does not mean to drain. Life demands constant recalibration, a dance between generosity and self-preservation, between holding on and letting go. Perhaps this is one of life's most profound lessons. No relationship, no stage of growth is static. All are living systems pulsing with exchange, sometimes demanding, sometimes giving, always impermanent. Wisdom lies in knowing when to nurture and when to release. And if you look back across your own life, you may recognize the echoes of this pattern. There were times when you served as someone's placenta, sustaining, sheltering, giving of yourself so another could grow. And there were moments when someone became that lifeline for you. This cyclical exchange of giving and letting go threads through every stage of existence. The true value of a connection is not measured by its duration, but by the transformation it supports. The placenta dies so the child may live. Likewise, certain chapters of your life must end so that your next form may begin to breathe. Accelerated growth and the price of expansion. As the months unfold, the fetus becomes a universe in motion, a cosmos expanding within the hidden cathedral of the womb. Its body multiplies in mass and complexity billions of times over, demanding energy on a scale almost beyond comprehension. Every cell divides like galaxies being born in the void. Every organ finds its rhythm, and every human feature is sculpted out of darkness. Growth here is dazzling. So it is is never free. Every gram of new life exacts a price, drawn from the mother's reserves of energy, nutrients, and vital force. And the placenta, acting as an unbroken mediator, intensifies its labor. It channels glucose, directs oxygen, regulates hormones, and fine-tunes every exchange between two worlds. Meanwhile, the mother's body transforms itself entirely. Her heart pumps faster, her lungs expand their reach, her metabolism rewrites its priorities. Everything within her is reoriented toward one sacred goal, sustaining growth. Yet even nature has limits. When the demand exceeds balance, the maternal system signals distress. This quiet negotiation between abundance and restraint is one of life's most intricate equations. How to give without depletion, how to sustain without dissolving. On a metaphysical level, this moment mirrors our own cycles of expansion. Whenever we grow in dreams, projects, or responsibilities, we draw energy not only from ourselves, but from the world around us. Growth in any form demands cooperation and shared resources, but wisdom teaches that all expansion must be guided by awareness. We cannot take more than we can replenish, nor expect more than others can freely give. The secret of sustained creation lies in reciprocity, in honoring both giving and receiving as sacred movements of the same breath. In physics, the parallel is cosmic. Since the Big Bang, the universe has been expanding endlessly into silence, driven by invisible forces like dark energy, unseen yet essential. Within the womb, the fetus mirrors this very dance, a miniature Big Bang contained within its own galactic sphere. Like stars drawing light from a larger field, it grows only through a continuous exchange with the body that shelters it. This reflection reminds us that all life, from the cosmic to the cellular, is sustained by harmony between the visible and the unseen, the self and the whole. Existentially, this stage offers a lesson in humility. The fetus does not grow by its own power. It grows because it is nourished. Likewise, we do not evolve in isolation. We rise through the invisible networks of support, through people, experiences, and moments that feed our inner expansion. To acknowledge this interdependence is not weakness, it's wisdom. True strength is relational. The universe itself thrives on collaboration. Galaxies, cells, and souls alike bound by the same law of mutual sustenance. And if today you feel that your own growth is stretching the limits of what you can hold, remember the wisdom of the womb. The maternal body knows when to give and when to guard its strength. Real expansion does not destroy its foundation, it deepens it. Like the mother sustaining life without erasing herself, you too are invited to grow with balance, to expand in alignment with your own rhythm, body, and spirit. The secret of life has never been merely to grow, but to grow sustainably, to let expansion become an act of harmony rather than exhaustion. The silent selection and the test of resilience. Even after implantation and the first stages of growth, the journey is far from secure. Biology keeps testing, evaluating, and filtering with quiet precision. The maternal body watches for the subtlest of signs: genetic irregularities, metabolic imbalances, hormonal miscommunication. When the signals fall out of harmony, life may quietly withdraw. This is one of nature's harshest truths. Not every beginning is meant to reach birth. The silent selection continues, invisible, impartial, and deeply intelligent. Though this process may seem cruel, it reflects an ancient wisdom. Life invests energy where continuity is most possible. Nature does not act from kindness or cruelty, but from equilibrium. It is a system that protects coherence, channeling vitality only where growth can truly sustain itself. This same law operates within us. When something in our lives, a dream, a relationship, a creation, lacks the integrity to endure, the universe often pauses it, not as punishment but as sacred economy, a redirection of energy toward what is ready to live. From a metaphysical view, this natural filter is a reminder of coherence as the foundation of all survival. A developing fetus that communicates harmoniously with the mother's body is accepted. One that generates too much discord triggers rejection. The language is biological, but the principle is universal. When we vibrate out of alignment with our values, truth, or essence, life itself withdraws energy from that path. To survive in any realm is to resonate with the field we belong to. Coherence is not perfection, it is rhythm restored. Quantum physics echoes this pattern. Unstable systems collapse into chaos, while coherent systems stabilize and create enduring structures. A fetus that persists is one that finds inner order, a perfect harmony of energy, matter, and timing. Likewise, human beings thrive when their thoughts, emotions, and actions align. When these three frequencies meet, reality organizes around them. The universe responds not to wishful thinking, but to vibrational integrity. Continuity, whether of cells or dreams, is the product of sustained resonance. Existentially, this awareness reframes what it means to be alive. Every heartbeat within you testifies to victories won in silence. Countless trials you have already passed without ever remembering them. To exist today is to carry the lineage of survival itself, the resilience of ancestors, cells, and choices that refuse to give up. Gratitude becomes natural when we recognize that our presence is not random. It is the outcome of life choosing again and again to continue through us. And perhaps this is the great revelation of this chapter. If you survive the primordial chaos of conception and the rigorous selection of gestation, you already hold the signature of resilience. Life did not err in allowing you to be here. You are living evidence that consciousness can cross darkness and emerge intact, refined, and radiant. You are proof that the universe rewards coherence, that survival itself is both science and poetry. Your very breath is the echo of an ancient affirmation you were meant to be. The synthesis, the miracle of continuity. And we have reached the end of this invisible journey, though not the end of reflection. From the army of millions that began the race, only one reached the egg. From the chemical dialogue of negotiation, only one was chosen. From the cellular invasion, the placenta emerged. From the rapid expansion of growth, the human form took shape. All of this unfolded in silence, in darkness, unseen by any eye. Yet it culminated in the extraordinary fact of your existence. Life, in its ruthless beauty, selected you. To look back upon this process is to recognize that every human being carries an epic inheritance. Before Your first breath, you survived microscopic wars, endured ruthless selection, and blossomed in the womb like a star being born. Biology reveals the mechanics, but metaphysics unveils the meaning. To live is to be the outcome of invisible decisions that defied every statistical impossibility. Existence itself conspired to bring you here to this moment, breathing, thinking, aware. The quantum physics reminds us that the observer is never a passive witness, but an active participant in creation. You were not born to watch life unfold from the sidelines. You are co-creator of the field that continues to arrange itself around your focus, your emotion, your intention. Just as the placenta built a sanctuary to sustain your growth, you now possess the ability to create coherent fields in your relationships, your work, your path. The miracle of life did not end with your birth. It continues through every choice you make. Existentially, this realization reframes how we understand value. If being alive already meant triumphing over near impossible odds, then perhaps the challenges you face now are merely echoes of that original victory, extensions of the same ancient pattern. Each obstacle may appear insurmountable, yet hidden within is continuity. There's no accident in the fact that you are hearing these words now. It is life whispering through time. You are persistence. You are the thread that endures through chaos. And so as we close this cycle of reflection, remember to honor your own existence. To honor is to see yourself not as coincidence, but as deliberate creation. You are as much biology as poetry, as much chemistry as consciousness. You are living evidence that the cosmos seeks expression through your singular form. And when that truth truly settles in your heart, even the simplest gesture, a glance, a breath, a word, becomes part of a grander symphony where existence and meaning merge into one. And so I leave you with an invitation. Carry this awareness into your everyday life. Look upon the ordinary as a continuation of the extraordinary, the echo of that first divine unfolding that began within you. Each breath you take is an inheritance from that cosmic process. Each moment of awareness is a renewal of creation itself. And if you feel called to expand this journey with me, join this space, subscribe, share, and let this resonance grow. Creation never ended. It is still happening. Now, through you.
And so, see you in the next video, with more information on everything that involves growing, evolving, transforming, and manifesting. See you soon.